Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Recipe for Adventure. I'm Freebie Wits, and with me is my good friend Sai. Sai,
Hello.
yes, it worked. I mentally told him to say hello. I used my psychic powers to think it instead of just asking for it. It worked.
Oh, I didn't hear anything. I just thought that since I wasn't getting told hello to say hello, I should actually say it for once.
Are you a contrarianist?
No,
Are you sure?
no.
Hmm.
Which is something a contrarianist would say.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, it's good to see you again. Um, okay, so my question for this week, I am a bit behind. It's already been released. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But the question is, have you watched the D&D movie, and what did you think of it? And I'm not talking about the really, really old one. I'm talking about the more modern one, the most modern one.
Yeah, you say the really old one as if there's not multiple old ones. But okay.
Point. Yeah, point taken. But yes,
Yep.
I'm going with the
I have
new
also
one
watched all of them.
with
The new
these.
one,
Yep.
yeah, the new one set in like the Sword Coast.
Uh huh. Uh
Yeah,
huh.
no, I watched it. I really enjoyed it. Um, I loved a lot of the standard gags, like the paladin who's so on the straight and narrow. He literally walks over the boulder.
It's so stupid, but like in that way that a lot of D&D players go, "Hey, we've been through this," and then but
Hmm.
it's packaged in such a way that anybody who has never played D&D still say, "This is a fun time."
Yeah, no, I loved so much of the jokes. Like getting to see Thunderchild was great. The big
Fat
chunky
dragon.
dragon.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was lovely, wasn't it? And I, I think that's an issue with a lot of fantasy movies before the D&D one per se, is that a lot of them take themselves a bit too seriously. I think Lord of the Rings was a fantastic set of movies, but they definitely took themselves very seriously with only jokey parts in
Hmm.
between. Whereas D&D was like, we're gonna play it straight, but it overall is like we're not gonna take ourselves too seriously. Play it straight, not seriously. That's the phrase I'm going for.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what you kind of want to do in real life D&D. You can take it seriously if that's what your group wants, but for all intents and purposes, you just want to play it straight and have a good time with your friends because it's a social thing in the end.
And playing like the serious character isn't a bad thing. In fact, like that is in a part like the essence of jokes. You have
A straight man.
like an unserious character and a straight man, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what helps make a lot of fun content. From the straight man having to react with and deal with all the
The
silliness that
the
is occurring.
lunacy, or in some cases, not react to it at all.
Hmm.
Just they're
And
there to provide a contrast.
yeah,
Oh, it's
it's
beautiful.
very very helpful
Mm,
to get the joke across if you have someone who can react to it.
mm. All right, so we are currently in Krakenspearl, the underwater city, uh, where we gotta find the Phoenix Feather, which is presumably in the palace. So I've got all the notes here. We just finished working on the blacksmith, and
Yeah.
Sai has been working on something else as well off camera. And I'm going to open it up now. Krakenspearl random. So essentially, if you're on the street and you run into a secret random encounter, this is where you end up. And I do like the little details that the corals are the same one that we got from the Rainbow Shield from a
Well,
couple of
I
seasons.
figured it made sense, right? Because this is still within the Cachanopolis area
Mm-mm.
that with time the coral would have migrated over here.
Oh, absolutely. And I do love it. So when it comes to like random battle maps, like I feel like you don't necessarily need to have, what do you call it, anything as in depth as this per se. Like a lot of people are just happy to have like a random forest map, a random
Yeah,
blank map even, and let the players like fill in the blanks themselves. Um, I know a lot of people, when it comes to maps, prefer to do like theater of the mind, but it's just that D&D, the way its rules, like, hey, this spell does so and so much distance, and it, if there's cover in the way, it does this and such like that. That you kind of need a physical representation of map to do a lot of these mechanical things. Would you say that's about right, Si?
sometimes you can get away with it.
Mm.
But in this case, the reason why I built this random battle map
Oh, oh,
is
oh, oh.
because of the is because of the air bubbles.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because they're a necessity for traveling through Castronopolis, like through this area.
That's right. We did
It's
make
like,
rules about this stuff, yeah.
yeah. And so I'm like, I want a battle map where there are like air bubbles situated around the place, so people can actually, they have the proper visual. It's like
Mm-mm.
the air bubbles are like spread apart, but if you play your cards right, you can get to where you need to relatively quickly and get to a space with an air bubble.
Mm-mm. Like, you don't really, like, D&D adventurers can hold their breaths for quite a while, so it's usually probably not an issue as much unless you're really bogged down, surrounded by enemies all the time. Like
Yeah.
your hit points should in theory go down quicker than you'll suffocate in theory for the most part.
Yeah.
Um
But
mhm,
it's nice to have that like visual representation.
mhm. Um before we continue making, do you have any advice on how to use this specific map for our players? Like I'm pretty sure we have like some adventurers, Chrisfield. No, no, hang on.
So like the cool thing about this map is that we have a couple of like landmarks and like buildings and such.
Yeah, yeah.
And like if you want like a tighter area, you can just be like the battle takes place on like just like this area here, just a small little section on the side of the road. And you can also treat it like, you're low down, like near the coral, all that. But because we're in a 3D environment, I
Mm-hmm.
have air bubbles over the roofs as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can actually do somewhat like just standard, like I recommend you stick to the 2D plane.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
But if people want to, you can encourage them to like go up onto the rooftops and such,
Mm.
and like take cover from people that way.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because
And
trigonometry is a
like,
thing.
yeah, trigonometry is a thing, but you can play this map as if it's just 2D. That's nice and easy to understand. Everyone can kind of get the general gist of it.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, we have areas with like bubbles around the place, and like particularly like the huge like cracks in the ground where there's just bubbles spewing out. And so this map's really good because depending on where you place the party to start the fight,
Mm-hmm.
their access to bubbles will be somewhat limited.
Mm-mm-mm.
If like so, Hirschfeld's over here on this rooftop.
Mm-hmm.
There's like bubbles nearby from the chimney,
Yeah.
and then like some bubbles to the right here.
Yeah.
But all the other bubbles are a bit further away, and so if someone is short on like breath, for example, like a wizard with like 8 constitution,
Oh, yep, yep,
they're
yep.
going to have to like beeline it to the bubbles
Really think about it.
because
Yeah.
they have only 5 turns of breath.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And like likewise, if you're over here, you
Oh.
start over here. There's just like all these bubbles over near Hrisfeld right now,
Mm-mm-mm.
and so it's like a lot easier for people to just defend themselves in this area because there's just
Absolutely.
bubbles everywhere.
Absolutely.
And so, depending on where you start on this map, you have different like things that could occur. Like if you're in the center here, you could have a bunch of enemies that are like hiding behind this house, for example,
Oh yeah, yeah.
or behind this one.
It's a good ambush
And
point.
so, yeah, and so this map has just enough details that you can actually kind of shape the fight as to how you want,
Mm-hmm.
depending on where the party starts the battle.
Mm. Mm. I do like that detail, and like something would tell DMs and stuff like that is that if you want to reuse the same map over and over again, feel free to do so. But if you want to make it a bit fresh, like Sai said, like give them different starting points, and I'd like to add on to that a bit of ice. Physically rotate the map as well, so it feels a bit different. Like your players will probably catch on eventually. Oh yeah, yep. That
You
looks
also just like you can also just like flip the map, like
exactly,
vertically, horizontally.
exactly.
Like
You can,
this already looks like a completely different map.
yeah, like mentally, it's the same one because we literally just made it and slapped it down. But our monkey brains tell us, no, no, that's not where it was before. Therefore, it's different. And
Mm-hmm.
players, if are like, I know it's gonna sound like I'm talking down to them and such like that, but players can be very dumb sometimes. They will not notice the small details, and other times they'll do a 180 and notice everything, no matter how well you hide it. It's weird, right? Like you've experienced this before, haven't you, Sai?
Oh yeah, it's like sometimes a player will say something that's like, "I gave you exactly one clue. How have you already pieced together this piece of information that I have no intention of telling you about yet?" And other times you're like, "Guys, we've been here an hour. I have told you the solution. How are we still on step one?"
Have we
But
checked if
yeah,
the door is unlocked?
yeah.
The amount of times I've done that, it's so
Or
fun.
the we have a very elaborate lock and key. You have been searching for traps the entire time.
Hmm.
Now is the time where you throw caution to the wind and try to pick the lock on the incredibly elaborate door that you're fairly sure the boss is behind.
I feel this is targeted. This is very targeted towards me. For those of you who don't know, I did exactly this. Yes, yes, yes. I feel attacked. Just so you know.
I feel like it's very warranted for this scenario. It's a very good example, and it's like, oh yeah, like even someone who's a experienced DM will do stupid things once they're a player.
It happens.
Yeah, and
Uh,
sometimes characters will do stupid things because their character is a bit of an idiot.
they're
They might
he.
be an intelligent player, but if you're playing like a reckless barbarian,
Mm-hmm.
reckless is the middle name.
Mm. I feel that can be excused. But anyway, so we this is our random map. We're probably going to be using it here and there for random encounters and such for this specific area of Krakenspearl. Um, but back to Krakenspearl overworld map, and I'm going to rename it just to say Krakenspearl. Oh, sorry, overworld. There we go. So we've more or less got the blacksmith made, but I'm wondering if we want to actually make a proper blacksmith map in the future if it ever gets attacked or something like that, or do
Oh,
we want to
like
keep it as like properly? This is a safe area because and like just keep it as is.
um, if we want to designate it absolutely as a safe area,
Hmm.
then I think it does not need a map.
Okay, okay. We'll ignore that then. What area of note do we have? Because on our list we have the marketplace next.
Yeah, I think that marketplace is a good place to do next because I reckon what we should do is like the critical path
Hmm.
first,
Hmm.
and then do the three additional places. Even though we have technically already discussed the guard tower
Hmm.
a little bit, we'll flesh it out when we get there.
All
But
right, in
for
that
now,
case, we'll add a page Krakenspearl marketplace. Krakens, Krakenspearl marketplace. This is just gonna be a very rough thing we're doing. So how big do you want the actual map to be? Do we want it to be pretty huge as well? Do you think?
um, I like the standard 25-25, or if I want a slightly larger map, a 30 by 30.
Mm-mm-mm.
25 by 25, it is like
It's
the
huge.
default.
Yeah, it's like each square is 5 feet, so like we're looking at like 125 feet by 125 feet. That's pretty big. Um,
It's big, but like some weapons, like the longbow, just automatically like go that far.
I don't think it's too
And
much of an issue because like a marketplace should, in theory, have like lots of cover and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um, because if we like zoom in on the overworld map, like little reinterpretation, it's gonna be lots of like
hmm
tents down there. And you know, I
yeah,
kind of like the idea of the tents, despite being this like a sunken city. Tents are like, in the actual marketplace is relatively intact, and that like adds to the mystery of the place and such like that.
like how did it get flooded, right?
Yeah, and why is it so, like you said, so intact? What's going on here? Um, So I'll just get the drawing tool out, get some rectangles. So the brief idea is I do want it to have a square in the middle. It could be like
Yeah.
maybe a little fountain in the direct middle. So that can just be there,
hmm
and that'll be the meeting place. But otherwise, I just want like roads going all across, like maybe down the middle. So like this is the main road, goes all the way down the middle. And I kind of want it to be like a miniature version of the overworld map almost, is my thinking here. So it's got like a
Yeah.
little courtyard where people can like meet up and play, and then you've got like the marketplace all around it otherwise. So maybe I'll mark the like little tents and stuff in blue. Yeah, this isn't to scale quite yet. I think like 10 feet, like by 10 feet tents is pretty good already. And it like gives us a general idea of like the scale of what we want. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. 10 feet by 10 feet, or slightly longer, depending.
Yeah, and then we'll have like different kinds of market stalls, like that were designed for different things. And I wonder if like obviously this can be a battle location. That's why we're doing these maps. But do we actually want to like turn things on its head a bit and actually have it function as a marketplace somehow? Like, because I think in a couple sessions ago we were talking about like having a friendly NPC down here. We've got the guard obviously, but do we want to actual like merchants or something? Maybe automatons who don't realize the city's flooded and lost and such like that.
Ooh, that could be cool.
So they're still like, serving the place and such. So like they don't enter the combat fight, but maybe they'll say things like, "Hey, don't fight here. This is like private property, whatever." But obviously they won't listen because they're animals, but they won't have any interest in eating him because they'll be like automatons or something like that. So I'm just adding a bit more road down here. But yeah, this will be like the central market area. And it would have been like back in its day a bustling place of commerce with exotic goods all across the land. And that would explain the whatchamacallit, the automaton that's still around and such like that. So what do you think of this layout? Do you think we need to do anything different?
Uh,
Like I'm just rushing ahead here a bit, honestly.
no, I think the general shape is perfectly fine.
Hmm.
I think it's just a matter of you know, chucking stuff onto the map.
Giving so yeah, there's lots of cover. So there's like besides like the main streets, the main roads and stuff like that. Oh, hang on, I just realized that I may have accidentally. Yeah, I've got to put them onto the map layer. I just realized that. No, no, I think I'm good for most of it. It's just the layer, map layer. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, so we're on the token layer, so the only one who should be on the token layer is Fishfield. So what do we want to do with the map? What's the significant part of it? Like, obviously there's going to be bubbles around and whatnot. I guess we can just represent it with these light blue bubbles, and we'll just put little areas around. So I guess the fountain for sure would have bubbly area in the courtyard.
Yeah.
Maybe some of these intersections and parts of these roads. It doesn't have to have a specific design per se, but I suppose when you make the map yourself to make it look actually fancy, you'll be putting them up and such like that. So do we want to like put a construct in anywhere particular, or
A construct would be more likely a creature type than a person. But I do like the idea of not multiple constructs, but like one
yeah,
that has basically gone like kind of stir crazy
like I
because
don't.
it's the only one. It maintains the entire marketplace,
Mm-mm-mm. Or maybe just one
and
market store, and he doesn't care about the others. Is
oh,
there?
I mean, like he runs the one, but he
Mhm.
like maintains the others, so it doesn't destroy the retail value.
Oh, like he's like a shop retail version of a HOA.
Yeah.
Hey, hang on, I'm trying to find a good token to represent this. This could be like just a temporary thing, because I don't think they have Warforged in the basic library, unless they do. I just typed in robot. Oh, okay, this looks like a clampy looking guy. Yeah, okay, here we go. There we go. He can have this one, and he never attacks anything, so the creatures and stuff generally leave him alone. So, like, what services or things can he, or like, I imagine like the goods have been long since sold or like destroyed by like nature and stuff like that. Or like, I'm kind of tempted to say he's a fortune teller, one of those robot fortune tellers.
Robot fortune teller.
Yeah.
I will tell you your future.
Yes. Or
I do kind of like the sound of that.
I think it'd be funny, but like, it doesn't have to be like fortune telling. It could be something as mundane as like he gives back rubs and stuff like that. Because there's always like a massage person at one of those like outdoor Sunday marketplaces, right?
Yeah.
So the marketplace, how do we describe it? Has a central open area with a fountain spewing air. Has a market stall in remarkably good condition that is manned by a construct vendor. Do we want to just say the actual marketplace is devoid of any like useful goods first of all, or do we want to actually give the players a chance to loot it or like scavenge for something?
Um, I don't think this place should be lootable
Mm-hmm.
because if there is anything that is in this marketplace, I'm going to assume the construct has it.
Okay, okay. In that case, I will say the tents and structures that remain are in tatters or ruin. However, the basic structure. Okay, hang on. The tents and buildings that remain are in tatters or ruin. However, the basic structure for them all are intact enough that it's clear that this was once a bustling marketplace. However, any goods that remain are either too damaged or have been swept away with the currents. And I won't mention that the robot has them yet.
Yeah.
And then we'll say there has a single market store in remarkably good condition that is manned by a construct vendor. So what do we call this vendor? You want to give him a name?
I mean, like if he's a more like a construct for doing something like a golem or something,
Yeah, like he's basically a vending machine for all intents and purposes, like how I imagined him.
then maybe we should just call him Vendor.
Okay, vendor it is. Vendor. And save settings. So I will say like vendor is a neutral. Can't spell. Neutral construct that hostile monsters generally ignore. However, if anything attacks it or its stall, it will turn hostile. Okay. So do we know what this thing is going to sell, if anything at all, or trade for? Like, actually, it
Uh,
might still have coins. So it can buy things off the players, I suppose.
yeah.
Okay. So how much money will we say vendor has? Maybe like say
Um,
500 gold coins worth of various currency. So like there could be like
yeah,
500 gold coins worth of silvers and coppers stuck together basically, and like other treasures.
yeah.
Roughly 500 GP worth of coins of various worth. You know what? I'm gonna say players may roll a, let's say, DC. We're gonna make this hard, but not impossible. 18 history, and they will get some of the silver coins. Are actually platinum alloys before platinum was considered valuable as treasure. Some of these silver coins are worth more. So let's say, okay, whenever the players gain silver coins, note that they are 50% more valuable. How's that sound? As a little bit of flavor.
That sounds good.
Okay. Do we
So yeah,
want
he's a vendor that people can sell things to. Does he have? You know what?
stock?
Um, maybe he has access to like simple weapons like daggers and spears,
Mm,
stuff that's like easy to use underwater.
okay. Okay. I would say he would have a bit of everything in that case, just because while he is underwater now, he
Mm-hmm.
previously would not have been.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll say vendor has many weapons and equipment.
But they're not made of like iron. They're made of like bronze. We can say.
Does bronze melt? I mean, rust?
No.
No. Oh, but the leather. Okay, you know what I'd say? Has many weapons and equipment, most of which are made of bronze. Most of the handles, which would have been made of leather, have deteriorated. However, vendor refuses to sell. Wait, vendor will sell them at a slight discount due to mild water damage. I just like that. I just want to say that he will sell them at a slight discount due to mild water damage.
Yeah.
Do we want to give him anything special? Like, because I do like the idea of the players getting something pretty nice from him. So let me just double check the unique items Google document. So we have Nature's Defender, found in the Goblin hideout. It's a +1/1 like hand axe, great against plants and beasts. I mean, terrible against plants and beasts. Let's see, it's good for druids and rangers. You got Titan Slayer, which the players probably won't get, or at least not keep. You've got Oyster's Mouth, lets the players speak Aquan. Jar of 5-leaf clovers. The Woolly Jumper. Oh, I forgot about this thing.
Potentially very useful depending on what we put them against.
Yeah, I think we can put down some enemies with cold stuff. So the Silver Rapier. It's just silver. Prototype Forge Musket. So we've here we go. Yeah, so this is what we've covered. Do we want to give a purely spellcaster thing, like a wizard or sorcerer thing, or do we want to give something to like more strength-based fighters, like paladins, barbarians, and like fighters to this guy?
Ooh. How about a giant pearl that's an arcane focus?
We've already sort of got a pearl thing, but I like where you're going with this, an arcane focus sort of thing. I think you're still thinking, because this is underwater, that you're putting underwater stuff, but once again, I kind of want to...
Yes.
I kind of want to give Vendor something that would only like normally be seen on the surface. Just to contrast with the fact, like, just to remind players, hey, this didn't used to be underwater, sort of thing.
Yeah. Because the only thing I could think of that would be cool would be like some sort of like staff or quarterstaff.
I'm thinking you're on the right track, so it's definitely going to be a staff of some kind. So
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give it a specific name or description yet. So staff found on vendor in Krakenspearl marketplace. There we go. So like, how about a bear totem staff? Because like, you know, bears are specifically land animals.
Mm-hmm. Right. Bears are normally like attributed to strength.
So,
ooh, a staff that allows you to add strength to your damage rolls.
I don't really want to make a muscle wizard like, maybe not bear then. Like, what are the land animals or things that are like on the surface that aren't?
Tiger, wolf.
Okay, let's do a tiger totem staff. Tiger totem staff. This carved. Yep, this like words Oscar. This carved staff shows the image of a pouncing tiger on its tip. Do we want to say it's adorned with any crystals or anything like that?
Adorned with any crystals?
Maybe the tiger's pouncing on something specifically, like an emerald. Pouncing on a emerald or something? Say emerald?
Yeah, that could be good.
Emerald on its tip. On an emerald on its tip. So I'm trying to like shy away from druids specifically, so maybe like say arcane focused or something like that.
Yeah.
So like what can this thing do per se? Would you say like so it's a tiger type thing. Do we want to like more thematically make it a tiger type thingy? Like because I want to make it so it's useful for wizards and sorcerers specifically. I don't want to put this down and like the fighter will go, oh, this would be great for me.
Yeah. No, I'm just like thinking like when I think of a tiger, I think of like tiger's eye, and then I think of like the ability to see in the dark and that type of stuff.
Oh, you know what? Let's make it even less ambiguous. Instead of a tiger, let's get like a completely magical creature. Dragon totem staff. Of a dragon resting on a emerald on its tip. There we go. So it's like there's no doubt in people's mind that this is a magic staff now. And it's definitely got nothing to do with druids and rangers. Like, I don't want to just give people like the use of a new spell or something like that. I want to give them like a bit of utility or something. Not
Yeah.
that most wizards need it per se, but I feel like we got to give the wizards something. Um, so I'm thinking like, okay, you know, I got it. Whenever the user of this staff, okay, wait, no, okay. This can be used as an arcane focus once per day. They choose once per day. The caster chooses one spell they can cast and stores it into the staff. They may use this spell at any time. Anytime during. Okay, wait. They may use this spell at any time as if they casted it. However, if the caster is reduced to 0 hit points, the spell stored in the staff is expended and the caster regains hit points equal to the stored spell's level and the caster's what do you call their attribute bonus point?
Casting modifier.
And the caster's and their casting modifier. So it just gives them a bit of survivability. So they can either like hold on to the spell and not use it. So essentially this gives them an extra spell slot and a bit of survivability. What do you think of that? Dragon totem staff.
Make mention that they can only store one spell at a time as well.
Oh yes, of course.
Otherwise, you could just store like 50 spells in it over 50 days.
And get like 100 hit points back if you really needed to. Okay. Staff can only store one spell at a time. There we go.
I do like this though because it's like you get the spell
Mm-hmm.
that you like stole from like the previous day,
Mm-hmm.
or a get out of jail free card if you get hit really hard. Now, that's really good. I like that.
So any arcane casters can benefit from that. Technically the bard counts as one, don't they?
Bards are technically arcane casters, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm okay with anyone having that once per day. Caster chooses spell. This staff otherwise functions as a +1 quarterstaff. There we go. Just so they can still beat stick people. Okay. Wait, I know dragon resting on a gray stone on its tip. Okay, and there's a reason why I'm going to say this. On a gray stone, when there is a spell stored in the staff, the gray stone. Okay, wait. I'm going to change the spelling a bit. The gray stone changes into a gem that most represents the stored spell, e.g. a ruby if it stores a fireball spell. There we go. I like flavor, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I like flavor. That would be very useful for any casters, arcane casters, of which I'm pretty sure we'll have at least one in the party, and if not, they can always sell it, I guess. So, how much will the vendor sell it for? Vendor also
Ooh, that's
has
a good.
one magic item called Dragon Totem Staff.
I think, considering that he had 500, he has 500 basically equivalent in coin.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe selling it for like 400.
Okay. 400 gold.
Which, to be fair, depending on your point of view, is an absolute steal.
Mm-mm.
But think about it. He's pricing it according to old prices.
Oh.
And so it's like inflation.
In that case, I would roll Insight, let's say 15.
Hmm?
DC 15. Staff isn't cheap. It's just that inflation has hit the world very hard. It also means they're overcharging for the bronze weapons. Technically. So it's like, how much is a dagger? It's like 1 GP, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
So if he's selling at the dagger for 1 GP, he's essentially selling it for like, I don't know, 10 times what it's supposed to be worth otherwise. I
Yeah,
love that
it's
idea.
basically it's like they're souvenirs, right?
Yeah. It's like, here's this dagger for like 10 GP, but I mean 1 GP, but because I like you so much, I'll give it to you for 9 silvers. And players think they're getting a deal, which they are. But the robot vendor is thinking, haha, got him.
Yep.
And then the only thing they're selling for a fair price is the staff.
Mm. Yeah. Now, I have a little thing to show off. You want to go back to the battle map?
Oh, okay. Oh my god, did you just make that?
Yeah, in the time, like as you were literally building things out, and we were discussing, I was building the map.
Holy Jesus. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to the map layer and then I'm gonna start deleting all the other stuff that we don't need anymore.
Yeah,
Hang on. Um, can you remove your map thingy so I can just select everything and because I don't want to actually delete your thing.
I'll just move it to the GM now.
Why didn't I think of that? Okay, delete. Oh, don't tell me I put those on the token layer. I must have left on the token layer.
Some of the stuff's on the token layer.
Why can't I select it? Ah. Oh, don't forget the bubbles. I think you forgot some of the bubbles. Oh, no, you got some. No, Hurstfield! No, I'll just whack him back on.
Yep.
Yeah, he never dies. All right, layer, token layer. There we go. Oh, that's fantastic. Yes. Yes. And we'll put the vendor bot somewhere. Doesn't really matter where he goes, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just use you. You'll be over here. There we go.
But yeah, I kind of went for like lots of bubbles from the fountain, so I put like the double crack on each side of the fountain, and the fountain bubbling up a lot too.
Oh, I do like that little touch. So this does look like a proper like. Oh, we need a filter.
Give me 2 secs. I'll go back and I'll fix that because I forgot that personally.
Hang on, is there a way I can do it from my end? Advanced. Apparently not. Okay, never mind. But yes, no, this is pretty damn perfect. And, I think that's all we have time for this specific episode. But the marketplace does look fantastic.
And I'll just quickly fix that with a version that doesn't, which has like the blue filter.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
So just uploading the new version. May take a few minutes depending on the speed of the connection. Please wait.
Oh, it's coming. You work fast, mate. Internet,
well,
not so
thankfully
much.
The blue, the blue filter is thankfully just an ambient light thing I can do in Dungeon Draft.
That's a fantastic program.
It takes me longer to upload the new picture
than it is for you to actually apply the new effect.
Cool. There we go.
It's a bit pixelated on my screen, but I assume that'll clear up soonish. There we are.
It's got that bit of a blue hue to it now.
Beautiful. Alright, everybody, I think that's all the time we have for this episode of Recipe for Adventure. Join us next time as we continue work on Krakenspearl from the marketplace to the library. So anyways, like, comment, and subscribe and all that stuff, and bye-bye.
Ciao.